I don't know if I can link this to the previous message. Maybe I should put my phone on flight mode when I do this, because when I get a call, it seems to disconnect. Um, anyway, so what I was saying is like you just don't know who are behind the people that have this illness, like how, like, and how does it attribute to you? So I'm choosing to not look at the numbers. I did reach out to a few people on some cancer groups and stuff. I have spoken to quite a few people that have a similar cancer to me. One lady has been on her cancer journey for 24 years and she's had 9 reoccurrences. And she was my age when she got it, not 40, but when she got her cancer the first time, she was the same age I was. I mean, I was 36 when I found out. So she's beat it, and I call her my lighthouse, so I use her as inspiration on me getting through. She has an amazing personality, a beautiful outlook, and she is doing phenomenally well. And you know, I just need to believe that this is going to work for me. Anyway, so what happened is after we found out where the cancers were and all that, we had the action plan of starting treatment. So my treatment is as follows. I'm doing Herceptin, which is something that would attach itself to the HER2 and basically starve it so that it can't get food to feed off of, so it won't keep duplicating itself. And then having chemo to try and shrink the tumors that I have. But the chemo I was given is an oral chemo. So basically I will go in, they'll link me to an IV, they put steroids into you, they also put anti-nausea medication, and then they start the generic of Herceptin, which is called Ogivri. So they start the Ogivri, and then when I'm done, they give me my chemo in a little ice pack, in a little cooler bag, and then off I go home, and I need to put it in the fridge, and I need to take it that night. I take 4 tablets, and then in a week's time, I take the remainder of the 4. So the problem is, in my mind, where things have gone wrong, why it hasn't worked this time, is because in the beginning it did work. I was also eating healthy, I was doing gymming, I was doing the whole shebang. I was being very well behaved, and I had a scan at the 3-week mark. I had a sonar, and on the sonar, my tumors hadn't changed that much, but they said 3 notable. So that means that those 3 big tumors were still there, but they were roughly the same size, but they didn't mention anything about the small tumors. So I suppose in my head, I maybe thought they were gone. But it was just a sonar, so it wasn't 100% accurate, and my tumor markers had dropped down to 170. So I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm like, I've got this, I'm nailing it, I'm doing better, I'm telling the cancer to leave my body every day because it's not holidaying here anymore, its eviction notice is given. And I suppose I got cocky in that and a little bit arrogant, and then I was like, it's working, I'm going to be fine. And then Corona was going on, and I started to let my eating habits go back to really bad. I have a sugar addiction, so I started baking a lot and eating sweets. And while everybody is like, you know what, you have cancer, do what you want, the thing is, I do feel that a lot of me being sick has to do with how I eat. So even though the doctor says it isn't, it's just like I don't give myself a fighting chance either by not eating well. And I landed up eating badly again, and because I thought I had it and that things were going fantastic, and everybody I know believed that things were going really well. So I completed my 6 cycles as you're meant to, and then I had to go for a CT scan and blood tests again, which I did. And because my doctor was so positive in that this was working, and we were all positive, although again, Nicole, before she went, I said to my husband, I think it's not better. I said to him, I will be carrying on with chemo. I know it. But part of me just thought that maybe it hadn't gotten worse. I thought that maybe it was like the same. Not based on anything, but yeah, I thought I did really believe that there wouldn't be a lot of change. Anyway, so my oncologist said, okay, she's going to send me 4 days after I had my chemo, 3 days, kind of. I was going to go for blood tests for tumor markers and go for the CT scan, which I did, and she's going to call me on the Friday, but she has a feeling that I'll be able to stop the chemo because I was responding so well. Awesome. So I went and I did all of those things, and then on Friday I got the call, and it turns out it was not good. So, according to the doctor, she said that she had spoken to her colleagues the night before or the day before, and they were discussing my way forward and the current new scan results, and they had made a decision that we would be stopping my current treatment and we will be changing it. So when she said that, I knew what it meant. And then she just said that as it is that some of my tumors did respond and they did shrink a little bit, but some of them didn't and they grew. And in my liver there are more spots. There's new tumors. So I again got stuck in the numbers, and I was like, do we know how many? Do we know how big they are? I need to know, because I can't process if I don't have the information. But anyway, again, first thought, I'm going to die. 11% survival. Fucked. That's what I think. And if you also look at the results when you Google, most people die within the first 6 months of having my kind of cancer. So you have this negative thing that's over your head. So with my first time, when she told me I was sick in February, I was like, I'm going to be dead in 6 months. And then I got a change in attitude, and I made a decision. I'm going to be here in 20 years. And I believed that. And now I'm like a little bit doubtful. Now I'm like, oh, what if I only make 5 years? Like 5 years sounds good. I keep saying it's not an option for me to go before, but I don't have a fucking say. Cancer has taken that away from me, and I'm somebody who needs to be in control and somebody who is very bossy and very stubborn, and it's like, it's not letting me be me. It's like, it's wanting to be my boss, and I don't want it to be my boss. I'm a Sagittarius. I don't like being told what to do, and the cancer is trying to tell me what to do. It's true. Anyway, so now we are at the point where my oncologist said that she feels that, obviously, stating the obvious, she feels that the oral chemo isn't working. Really? Wouldn't have guessed that. Anyway, the oral chemo is not working. We are now going to be going to the IV chemo of the same thing. And then she asked me, how do I feel about being on a taxane? Now, if you watched my previous video, that's the one that I had the really bad allergic reaction to. So I said to her, I'm not so keen on that one because, well, I stopped breathing and I had really, really bad neuropathy and stuff. So I don't want to take a risk again. So she's like, okay, fine, we won't do that. So what we're going to, and then she said to me, how do I feel about losing my hair? Now, let's be honest now. Not got the best hairstyle. Yes, I did color my hair on the weekend. It was 5 shades of lockdown. But anyway, I was like, you know what? If I'm going to lose it, I'm going to fucking do whatever I want to it. Fuck them. Anyway, so she said, how do I feel about losing it? The first time around, it didn't really upset me so much. I was fine with losing my hair. This time, I don't know why, I'm a little bit sad. I'm not like a fan of my hair, but I mean, it's like, the undercuts, I was like, did I really do the right thing? But I have so much hair, as you can tell. Like, maybe the undercuts at least keeps me cooler. It's kind of funky. My husband likes it. And I'm like, I'll just keep it. To try and outgrow that is going to be a bitch. So now she's like, okay, so to try and prevent me losing my hair, we are going to be putting in another chemo with the navel bean, which is called carboplatin. So basically, I think what that means is that they will then decrease the amount of navel bean that I'm given so that they can put the carboplatin with it. And then that means that it will be effective, but we can try and keep the hair. Look, if I lose my hair, then I lose my fucking hair. I've been there before. My head is not as ugly as I thought, but I do look like I have a moon face, so I kind of want to avoid that. But you know what? Whatever will be, will be. I'll rock that too if I have to. Not that I feel like I rock my hair now, so I'll rock it equal amounts of how I rock it now. Does that make sense? Anyway, so we are going to be starting with that. I haven't started yet. We're just waiting for approval from the medical aid. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know if I'm going to feel sick or not, because I will not lie to you. At no point ever in first diagnosis or second diagnosis did I have a single symptom. Not one. The only way we know the first time was because I felt the tumor. The second time, nothing. I don't have pain. I don't feel sick. In fact, I felt pretty fantastic when I was diagnosed. I'd lost 12 kilos. I was gymming, not every day, but at least every second day. I was doing classes. I was doing the whole shebang, and I was like really going full forward, and I felt fantastic for the first time in a very long time. And in fact, I had also made a decision to say fuck the people. I never went to gym because I'm not a small girl and I don't want people looking at me going, why is that fat bitch here? Nobody does that in my gym, luckily. There's lots of us, which I was so surprised by. And they are not puppies with their hair and their makeup and stuff like that. It's real people of all sizes. And you know what? Thin people are nodding their heads at you going, well done. You got this. I'm looking at people going, you fucking got this. So any preconceived notions you have in your head, they're not true. This is what I'm learning as I go, that I'm underestimating people. I'm underestimating things. I underestimate myself all the time. And I hate it when people do it, but I'm the one doing it. Anyway, besides the point, I had no symptoms whatsoever. So don't think it won't come to you. Don't think that if you're a gym bunny and you're only eating vegan and I don't know, you're all zen with the world, that it's not going to happen to you, because guess what? It can happen to anybody. It does not care. Cancer does not care. It doesn't care about your color, your sexual orientation, if you're a boy or a girl, if you're young or old, if you are a hoe bag or a drug addict, or when I say a hoe bag, I don't mean like, that sounds bad. I don't mean that way. I mean it in a nice way. I call myself a hoe bag because, well, life. It doesn't care, and if it's gonna be there, it's gonna be there in some ways. And there's a lot of people that think that just because they eat healthy and they do that, it won't happen to them. And I've seen so many people get it. So while I feel I haven't made right decisions in my life, it's not to say that if I was thin and eating healthy that it wouldn't have happened. So there's that truth. But I didn't have a single symptom. Not one. And through my treatment with my oral chemo and stuff, the symptoms that I had were so non-existent. Like I might get a headache, but that's something that you get every day. If you're, well, not every day, but you can get it every day. It's such a mild symptom that you don't notice it. Or for 2 days you'll have a runny tummy, which I have IBS, so normal everyday life for me. And then you'll be constipated. Normal everyday life for me too. No other real symptoms, maybe tiredness, but the medication that I take anyway for the hot flushes and stuff, that also can make me a little bit tired. I'm not somebody who sleeps in the day, so the day I start sleeping in the day, then I know something's going on. So there was like no real symptoms either. But the thing about the oral chemo is this. The chemo has to be stored between 3 and 8 degrees, right? I didn't know that the first few months. So basically, whoever makes the chemo has to get it to wherever. I don't know if that's going straight to the people who would dispatch the pharmacy through my medical aid, or if there are other middlemen that then eventually get it to my medical aid. And then my medical aids pharmacy then dispenses it to my oncologist, to the chemo room. And then the chemo room has it for a little while, probably in their fridges. And then when I finish my Herceptin or Ogivri, that they then give it to me in my little baggie, and then I put it in my car and I drive home. Maybe there's a pit stop for bread and milk and a healthy snack, and then I'll come home and I'll put it in my fridge. Problem is, even though my fridge is temperature controlled and it does say outside the fridge what it is, I have these drawers. So the one set of drawers is for like fish and meat and stuff, so that's 0 degrees, and then there's a bottom drawer which is for fruits and vegetables, and you can set the humidity accordingly. So when I first got the medication, I was always putting it in I call it my cheese thing. So when you open the door of the fridge, there's that flappy thing at the top. In there. That's where I was putting it in the beginning. And then I started to worry that, like, with my kids opening they open the fridge and they're like, what can I eat today? And they're staring. And then they'll close the fridge. Then 15 minutes later, they'll come in and then they'll get something out of the fridge and off they go. So that door is constantly going. So then I started to worry, like, what happens if I'm compromising it? Because it's a good possibility. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to put it in the top of my fridge at the back. Nobody will get there, because I'm also trying to think, like, I don't want to put it in the hands of the kids, because, I mean, it's poison. So I ended up putting it in my fridge at the back. And then I noticed that my yogurts that are up there crystallize. Does that mean it's too cold for my medication? So then I moved it into the meat drawer without thinking, not very clever, stupid face. It says 0 degrees on the fucking front, and put it in there. I don't know how long it was before I realized this. I'm smart, really smart. So then I moved it to my vegetable drawer. But I don't know what the temperature is in the vegetable drawer. It could be higher, it could be lower. I don't know. So it's been putting it in the vegetable drawer. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that between me getting it and leaving wherever it comes from, I don't know if it's always in a consistent temperature. It could be going up and down and up and down. And every time it does that, it will compromise the medication. Then I'm getting it, and I am not the brightest, clearly. Because it's moving around all the fucking time. And I'm like, what if I've compromised it? So is it any wonder that the chemo didn't work? Is it any wonder? Is it? Because I'm thinking that I fucked it up. And if I didn't fuck it up, the chances are that somewhere in its travels, it got fucked up. So is it any surprise that it didn't work? Maybe that's why I didn't get symptoms. But I did mention this to my doctor, and she said to me, lots of people don't get symptoms. So on chemo. So it doesn't mean it's not working. So that's good, I suppose. But why did it work in the beginning? Because my cancer count dropped. My cancer count this last time when she phoned me was 282. So we started out at 178. Sorry, not 178, 278. Did I say that in the beginning? Did I say 278 or did I say 178? Anyway, I correct myself now for what I may or may not have said previously. 278 is where it started at. Then it dropped down to 170, which was at the halfway mark. And then this last time was 282. So it went free. So the other thing that I found very interesting is because I requested my information from my oncologist from the CT scan. I wanted to actually see what it said, because when I go to my oncologist, she always has everything on. She's got a screen that faces her and a screen that faces us. And in that, I always get to see what it says. But now with being on the phone, I didn't, and I lost information. And I thought, okay, my disease is stable. I don't know where I got it from. But in my head, I'd made the decision, well, at least it didn't grow. So that's a positive. So I actually felt good about that. And then I got my CT scan. Don't feel good about that at all. Because that CT scan made me realize that there's a lot of stuff that I thought I knew that I didn't know. So I thought I had lung, liver, and 3 lymph nodes. But it's not 3 lymph nodes. It's 3 places of gatherings of lymph nodes that are infected, which I did not know. So that was a hard hit. Then they don't have numbers for what the liver tumor sizes were, so I don't know with how much worse it is. But I did at least see that some shrunk, so that's okay. And some, specifically one was a bit bigger, but again, it was millimeters. So it went from 2x3 to 6x2. Those are millimeters. So to me, it is a bit of a jump, but I mean, I suppose it's still small because it's under a centimeter still. So under a centimeter is good. So I seem to have a lot of under a centimeter sizes, but in my liver, all the big fuckers want to be. So because I really needed to know, I did reach out to my oncologist's office. My oncologist is on holiday for a week, and she deserves it because she works fucking hard. But I made contact with the receptionist, and she got the oncology GP to phone me. Really nice lady. And I asked her about the liver sizes of the tumors and if there's a way I can find out. So she said to me that we are in the middle of a lockdown in Corona, okay? So everything is inundated. So she doesn't want to really have to go back and ask them just yet, because she feels that it's not really going to be that beneficial for me to know that information, which is probably right, because I focus on the numbers and it's a really bad thing. And I have to fight myself away from that all the time. But she did say to me that the part that I didn't like is that she compared my first scan to this scan, and she said, with the naked eye, I can see that it's bigger. So that means it's not just millimeters. That means it's centimeters. So that wasn't easy news to hear. And then there are the new ones. So she feels that this course of treatment is going to be the right one. But I think that's what they're always going to say, is that, okay, well, that didn't work, so this one's going to work. The truth is that for a lot of people, they do everything and it's still not enough. I'm just scared that I'm going to be that person. I don't want to be that person. I really don't want to be that person. But what if I am? And that's why these videos became important, is that when I got those results, I was sitting and thinking, it's not what I want to hear. I want to be transparent with people, because I do post all my updates online. And while I feel a lot of people say things that they care, I don't know how much of that is true or not true. But the one thing I do feel is that people get to read a message and they don't get to see exactly what goes on in my head. And they know me, but they know the Facebook me. They don't know me. I don't go to Facebook when something goes, like if I had a fight with my husband, I don't go to Facebook and go, oh, my husband and I had a fight and he's such an arsehole. And I don't do that. So with this, even though I make the posts, I don't go crying online, because I do want people to see the easy side of it. Not because I don't want them to know how upsetting it is. It's not that. It's just that I don't want people to message me and go, I'm sorry, like, for what you're going through, and saying things to me that are not genuine, I guess. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But anyway, that's the thing, is like, I decided I'd rather do this. People can see, people who are interested in the journey are welcome to watch it. I also want people to see that when I say that I don't feel sick, I really don't. I don't look sick. Do I look like someone who's dying? I don't. Not that I feel that I'm dying yet, but the thing is, I have a death sentence over my head. And yeah, that's a whole other video again. Oh my God, I could be making videos all fucking day. Like, with everything I think of. But yeah, I will just approach that just now as well. But yeah, I also felt that I would also like to see the progress, that like if I go and things do get worse, how quick is the deterioration? Where is the deterioration? And if it isn't, is my start and my end going to be exactly the same? And let's say I'm here for another 50 years, I would at least like to be able to help people that are going through the same thing that I'm going through, not by blowing smoke up their ass, and also not by being melodramatic and sad, because that's not me. I can get sad, don't get me wrong. I can fucking bawl my eyes out, excuse all the swearing. There is going to be swearing. I can cry my heart out at night, and I feel like all hope is gone. So it happens, it does happen. But then there's always this part of me that will always make a joke, inappropriate jokes. I make a lot of really inappropriate jokes that are probably going to shock you, but I can't help it. It's like my coping mechanism. But I also just want a place that like I can just think and talk, because I'm really good at talking. But yes, so that was number 2. That's where we're at. So I've done my introduction of my hellos. I have done my how it was the last time, and I've done where we are at now. I am still waiting to hear from my oncologist about my liver test results, because for some reason that wasn't done, and I feel that I need that, because through all of this my liver function has actually been not normal, but it's been quite good considering. So I just need the peace of mind, or the harsh reality that it's either working or it's not working. So, or not, my liver's not working properly. So I'm hoping it is, because to be honest, between you and me, I do have a little bit of pain on my side where my liver is, but it's very mild. It feels more like just like a pressure, really, but I'm aware of it. And maybe I'm aware of it because I talk about it in psychosomatic, or maybe I'm aware of it because it really does actually, it's starting to hurt. But I mean, you can't have these huge tumors, not huge, but these big tumors that are like 7 centimeters big and think that it's not going to cause any backlash. No, I don't know what word I want to use there, but yeah, I think that there's not going to be any symptom of it. So yeah, that's it really. So I'm going to end this, and then I'm going to do my last one, which is just going to talk about pet peeves, because I have those. Pet peeves and cancer. And then I'm done. Then I'm going to load all of these up, and then I'm going to actually let people know that I have a page that I don't know how to run. And seriously, you cannot tell that I put makeup on. It's like ridiculous, because if I look in the mirror behind me, all I see is makeup. And I need to take it off. I'm not a makeup person, so the next time you see me, I also have a mean face. Do you love my double chin? Okay, love you, bye.